High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime, sponsored by Wendy's. They got you for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Overtime. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm David Greenberg. For the next half hour, we'll get you up to speed on all that's happening in high school basketball in the state line. We'll have the biggest highlights from the week and update you on the Nick 10 boys race.
We'll be joined by one of the top players in the Nick 10, East Marcarius Biggie Luster, and we'll bring you a feature story on a local referee who was one of the greatest players in Jefferson Jayhawks history. But we tip things off with a new form of March Madness in the state line, the Big Northern Conference Tournament.
It's never been done before, but since there won't be regional, sectional, or state tournaments this year, the leaders of the Big Ten Conference decided to generate their own excitement with this conference free-for-all for both the boys and the girls. The action tipped off tonight with some of the lower seeds in action. Like the Mendota Trojans playing at Winnebago, will pick things up in the first quarter. Winnebago on offense, Ray Marici finds a cutting Cade Maraska, who gets the easy two. Mendota now, Crew Bond drives the lane, he'll get that. Back come the Indians. Carl Furch draws in the double team. That leaves Marici open for another lay-in. Second quarter, Mendota breaks the full court press. Bond with a nice bounce pass to Tad Langriff. He finishes. Indians one more time. Maraska gets the ball, gives it right back to Jason Bull. He'll nail the spot up three. Winnebago snaps a 5-game losing streak, winning this one 66-24. There were two other Big Northern Conference boys tournament games tonight. Rock Falls defeated North Boone 57-44, and Dixon overwhelmed Oregon 53-11.
So that leaves us with these winners bracket quarterfinal matchups on Saturday. Rock Falls at Rockford Lutheran, Dixon at Genoa Kingston, Winnebago at Rockford Christian, and Stillman Valley at Byron.
The Big Northern Conference Girls Tournament is following that same formula. The top seeds Dixon, Winnebago, and Byron had a first-round bye tonight. The lower seeds all took the court, hoping to reach the winners bracket on Saturday.
We start on the east side of Rockford. Rockford Christian hosted Mendota. This is Tess Combs here, going to knock down the jumper for Rockford Christian. Caitlin Park next will get the ball, and she'll go to work near the baseline. The hoop, and one. Park's not done. She'll sink a couple clutch free throws in the final minute. Rockford Christian advances with a 34-29 win over Mendota. Our next Big Northern Tournament matchup had Rockford Lutheran hosting North Boone. The Lutheran boys up in the balcony supporting their girls. Love to see that. Now watch and enjoy the talent of Lutheran guard Michaela Huffine. She's going to hit the running floater. She'll come right back with another drive down the lane and the points. Joni Carlson's girls were clicking. Stella Henry shares with Sydney Carlson. That's another bucket. Then Huffine will shuffle the ball to Lauren Spangler. Tell you what, Spangler excels at every sport she tries. Lutheran wins big, 56-17. In the other BNC girls game tonight, Genoa Kingston defeated Oregon 46-24.
So these will be the winners bracket matchups in Saturday's quarterfinals. Rockford Christian at Dixon, Genoa Kingston at Winnebago, Rockford Lutheran at Byron, and Stillman Valley at Rock Falls. Semifinals in the boys and girls tournaments will be played Monday, and the championship games will be Tuesday. There's also a losers bracket, so tonight's losers will play on as well.
Up next, we focus on the Nick 10 with some highlights from two key boys games this week. And we'll be joined by one of the top players in the Nick 10, Rockford East senior Macarius Biggie Luster, to get his insights on the E-Rabs and more. You're watching Overtime.
There's only 1 week to go in the Nick 10 basketball season, and there's a whole lot still up in the air. The race in Division B is especially tight, and some key games are still to be played.
And the margin of talent between a lot of these teams is slim, so anything can happen. The Jefferson Jayhawks are the one team that's been flying along with a perfect Nick 10 record all season. The Jayhawks win their first 9 conference games. To extend that to 10 Thursday night, they had to get by a Hononegah team that's proven to be very dangerous since coming out of its 2-week COVID quarantine. Hononegah's Tyler Yon here gets into the Jayhawks defense, finds Gabe Ressler for the lay-in. More Ressler here, getting a hand on the ball and the steal, and then spots Dominic Camisso for the flush. More Ressler still here on the break, a Euro step finish for him. Antonio Levy had a 10-point second quarter to bring the Jayhawks back into the lead. There he is. And Jameer Jefferson will find the bottom of the basket. Jefferson scored 18. Here comes Owen Hart, playing with Hart, hitting the shot and hitting the deck. The Jayhawks pulled out, though, a double overtime 1-point win, 65-64.
At Auburn Thursday, the East E-Rabs took on the Knights. The Knights were wearing special Illinois National Guard uniforms that included some camo. Hard to see them. Patience Harris waits on the sidelines and then seizes the moment to fire in a 3-ball. Moments later, Harris creates an Eric Gibbons who has a gimme. Harris again on the fast break. He'll score, pull up off the backboard. Adrian Agee will take advantage of an E-Rabs turnover. He'll go the distance for the Auburn layup. Then Hanif Hanna shows a power move down low for the Knights. He scores. Zykees Williams, he'll fire up a 3, and the Knights are hanging right there with East. Then Biggie Luster says, yeah, I'll take that ball, thank you. He has one thing in mind, the dunk, the slam-a-jamma. The E-Rabs beat Auburn 57-47. So going into this week, the Nick 10 standings look like this in Division A. Harlem's in command at 8-2. Boylan's in second at 6-3. Then comes Auburn at 5-6. Belvedere North at 2-8. And Freeport winless through 9 games.
The B division is where it's really interesting with one game separating those top 2 teams. Jefferson is 10-0. East is 9-1. Hononegah, Guilford, and Belvedere round out that side of the conference. And look what's staring us in the face tomorrow. Those top 2 teams, East and Jefferson, will go at it at East. That's an 11:30 tip-off. Jefferson beat East in the first conference game of the season, February 9th. East at that time, though, was without one of its top players, Biggie Luster.
You know we'll be there for that game Saturday. Also Saturday, the top 2 teams in Division A will meet when Boylan takes on Harlem. Also Auburn will play at Belvedere North, Belvedere at Freeport, and Guilford at Hononegah. As we mentioned, East has that big game tomorrow against Jefferson. The E-Rabs, they're clearly one of the best teams in the conference, and they have one of the best players, if not the best.
Yeah, his first name is Marcarius. His last name is Luster, but his teammates, friends, and family often call him Biggie. I spoke with him earlier through Zoom.
Marcarius, you guys had an amazing comeback last Saturday against the Hononegah Indians. They pretty much dominated for 3 quarters, and then boom, all of a sudden it was a whole new East E-Rabs team that took control. What turned that game around in your guys' favor?
It was more just lack of energy at first. Like, we was kind of going through the motions. We didn't respect our opponent, and then we knew in the 4th quarter we had to turn it up because we always do this. We go through like late game situations in practice all the time where we're down by like a certain amount. We have to come back, and then we just have to come back and secure the dub.
To win like that, when you're down by 20 points and it looks like it's just not your day, to come back like that, that has to give you guys a lot of confidence that no matter what, you're never out of a game.
Right, yeah. We just, like I said, we always go like in practice, like late game situations. That's all it is. And we got to perfect that, and we just got it done.
You guys had to play 2 games Saturday because you, after the Hononegah game in the afternoon, you turned around and played a makeup game at night against Freeport, which you also won big. It's not like you guys had never played 2 games in a day before, because in a normal year during holiday tournaments, you would do that. But still, how hard is it to get your energy level back up and get your focus back for that second game when you have to play 2 in one day?
Oh, it's very hard. After the hard-fought game against Hononegah, that kind of like drained like majority of the team. That took a lot of energy, but we had to just give it a little bit more energy to play Freeport, and that's what we did.
Yeah, it's too bad there's not going to be regionals or sectionals or state this year, especially with it being your senior year. But at least you had that experience 2 years ago of being on that team that went all the way down to Peoria, finished 4th in the state. So at least you can fall back. You had that moment. So does that make it a little easier on you this year, not having that opportunity?
Yeah, but it's kind of sad though, because I want to go out my senior year with a state championship. But unfortunately, like I'm still grateful that we having the season though. It could be worse, so I'm just happy that we having the season.
You and Patience Harris, you're quite the tandem. How's the chemistry with you guys? I mean, you've played together several years now. How would you describe the chemistry between you guys, and how much fun do you guys have playing with each other?
Oh, we have chemistry like nobody else in the conference. I love playing with him. That's like my boy. Like, that's one of my day one brothers. I'll do anything for him. I'm pretty sure he'll do everything for me.
Do you guys kind of feed off each other? I mean, when one of you gets it going, does it kind of energize the other one?
Yeah, that kind of how it works a lot. Like when I'm going and I see like he kind of down, I kind of like my energy just picks it up, and for him, and he just gets going, or like it can get the opposite way. He just gets me going, and then like I have other players like on my team, like Dalen, he gets me going a lot. He has a lot of energy.
Now, at the start of the year, you were dealing with a back issue. You might have even had a little minor surgery or whatever. Can you kind of fill us in on what you were going through and what it's taken to rebound from that? Because I don't see a difference in your game from a year ago. Like whatever you were dealing with, it's gone because you've still got the hops, you got the energy, you're doing the dunks. So, what was going on there, and do you have any issues lingering from it?
Oh, no, I just had I had a herniated disc that's been bothering me for like the past couple months, whatever. And I just finally got like an MRI, and I got surgery on it. When I knew I got surgery, whatever, my coach, he just told me the day before I got surgery that our season started in like 2 weeks. So I know I had 2 weeks to rehab, and I was like, I couldn't stand to see my team out there by themselves. I had to like be there for my team, and I love playing the game of basketball. So, I was going to be out there as soon as I can be.
Are you 100%, or do you still have some minor issues with that?
I'm 100%.
Okay, it looks like it. It looks like it the way you play.
Thank you.
I've got one more question for you, and this is the biggest one of all, because I've been wondering about this for the last 3 years. Where did the nickname Biggie come from? How'd you get that?
It came from my grandma. When I was younger, I used to have like a really big head with like a little body, and she called me Biggie, and then like it just stuck with the family, whatever. And then as I start like people start to know me more, everybody's calling me Biggie.
Well, yeah, your head looks normal size now, I think, but it's your play that is big or Biggie, because the way you play when you show up and you get it going, that's big time. It's a lot of fun to watch you play. So, hey, great job so far. Continued good health and good luck the rest of the season. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was fun visiting with Biggie, and it's something how those nicknames people get when they're very young often stick with them the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't believe he bounced back from that herniated disc so quickly. His play, like you said, is big time. Is he the conference MVP?
You know, he's definitely in my top 3. Luster, his East teammate Patience Harris, and Jefferson's big tone Antonio Levy are all very close. You could give the MVP honor to any one of those 3. There are certainly other excellent players in the conference like Dominic Dawsey and Jefferson's Jameer Jefferson and Latrell Graham and Hananiga. I like a lot of those guys too. But I think these 3 players are a cut above everyone else. And I'm not sure right now which one of those 3 I would choose. Well, the big one in Nick 10 girls basketball this week had Harlem taking on Auburn. That was Tuesday night. It was so big the Auburn Knight had to show up for this one. Fourth quarter action, Harlem misses from the arc, but Maya Davidson grabs it, puts in a reverse flip. At the other end, Brooklyn Gray misses but stays right with it, and Auburn was up 3 with under 2 minutes to play. But the Huskies answer. This is Nikki Harrison cutting it to 1 point. Gray then gets serious on the hard drive here. She draws the foul. Gray then hits both free throws. So with 10 seconds to go, Harlem needs a 3-ball to tie it. The Huskies have a hard time getting a shot off. Taylor Goodwin's shot is blocked by Gray. Allison McGregor lays it in at the buzzer, but that left Harlem 1 point short. Auburn won 59-58. Gray scored 28 points. And when you talk MVP for the girls, probably Brooklyn Gray's the pick there.
Yeah, she is pretty special. A former Jefferson Jayhawk star from decades ago is still running up and down the court, now as a referee. You'll meet him next in our Spotlight segment. Many of us fall in love with basketball first as players, but as we get older, we find other ways to stay involved with the sport, whether it's through coaching, broadcasting, and for some, it's becoming an official. That's the path for former Jefferson Jayhawk standout Dion Simpson.
I was just good at it. I guess I was good at it. I had good height.
Rockford native Dion Simpson was, in the late 80s, a standout on the Jefferson High basketball court. Like many young kids in Rockford, Simpson's roots in basketball began on the courtyards.
We had a lot of great basketball players, and actually I would play against some of the older guys when I was younger. And I think that was really how my game was developed. It was good because it made me elevate my game. I mean, you know, I would get knocked down and wasn't as strong as some of the older guys, but when I started playing with guys my age and my bracket, then I was able to dominate.
And dominate is exactly what he did.
I had my career high at Beloit Memorial. I think I scored 42 points And that was probably my most memorable moment. It was about the best game. I couldn't miss a shot. And it was probably one of the best moments I had in the Nick 9.
Attending Jefferson in 1986, throughout his 4 years, Simpson racked up 1,291 points and 611 career rebounds, both setting new school records.
I remember it like it was yesterday. They stopped the game, and they came and gave me the ball, and it was real nice. I mean, the whole crowd, the whole stadium just stood up in applause, and it was just like yesterday. I remember it just like yesterday, yeah.
I asked Dion whether or not he knows if his records were still in place today.
To my knowledge, I am. I know my points in the game was broken some years back. Mine was 42 in the game. I think the one who broke it got 46. You know, but like I said, records are meant to be broken. I'm not bitter. I broke records that had been up there for 20 years, so records are meant to be broken.
And some of them have, while others haven't. As it stands, Simpson's 1,291 points have been topped a few times. His total now sits 4th all-time, but his 611 rebounds remain untouched at the top. Since his playing days, Simpson has found another way to stay close to the game that he loves, by refereeing.
Whatever way I can have an impact on the community, whatever way I can have an impact on students. I mean, refereeing is really, it keeps me connected to the kids. I'm able to give them a little life lessons and help them improve their game. Unofficially, this is probably like my 25th season. I've been doing it for a long time, yeah. I was getting injured so much when I was still playing in my later years, so I was like, I still want to be involved with the game without limping home every night. So I was like, the next thing was, hey, how about I get in officiating? So I was still able to be connected with the game and still be a part of the game. I actually had the best seat in the house.
Over the years, Simpson had the chance to live elsewhere. But, as he states, Rockford is his home. That's why he loves giving back to his community.
And I would say the main thing that I'm most proud of that I'm able to give back is fairness. I just feel like in life, a lot of times it's gonna be inequality and it's not gonna be fair, but this is the one opportunity where I can give all players of all ethnicities the opportunity to have a fair game, a fair dealing.
Refereeing isn't the only way he gives back. Simpson also ran for the school board in District 205. He was the president of the local NAACP chapter and offers up his time in coaching younger basketball talent. He said he never coached Rockford native Fred Van Vliet, but did officiate some of his games.
And one thing I can say about Fred is that Steady Freddy is fitting for his name because the guy never complained, he never whined, he never once complained about a call, at least to me. So, you know, I always admired him for that, you know what I mean? Because he was just a student of the game, he respected the game, and it wasn't any type of poor sportsmanship.
Whether you bump into him on the street or in the gymnasium, Dion Simpson does his best to make everyone feel important.
Whatever way I can have an impact on anybody, you know, that I come in contact with. I just want to leave a impact as a good person, you know, who wasn't perfect, but who strived for perfection.
It was great talking with Dion. He has seen a lot of high school basketball in Rockford over the last 30 years.
I remember Dion's senior year. He had length and he was a very dynamic player. Up next, we check out a DeKalb Barb squad trying to stay undefeated tonight. The list of undefeated basketball teams in the state line is a very short one. The DeKalb Barbs are right there at the top of it.
They took a 15-0 record into tonight. They hosted Waubonsie Valley. Martez Jackson gets it on the wing. A little shimmy shake, and he's right by his man for the bucket. Barbs taking it up. What a great find by Tyler Westberg. Into the corner to Lane McViker, who buries the triple. Crazy sequence here to end the first half. Kyler goes to the left, lays it in easily. Final seconds now for Waubonsie. Audrey Maluji, desperation heave from three-quarter court, and it goes in off the backboard. That tied it up at 37-all going into half. And in the third, Barb started running away with it. I'm calling that Kyler's corner because he's just money, baby. And he can do it all. This time, dishing it to his own corner, but to Tyler Westberg. He says, thank you, sir. I'll have another. He was fired up. DeKalb improves to 16-0 with the 81-69 win. Not far from DeKalb, there was a good rivalry battle going on between Caneland and Sycamore. The Knights got things going first. Pass to Jacob Harrison, who spins and gets the floater for the Spartans. Bounce pass underneath to Xavier Gagnapain. He goes up strong and finishes off the glass. He had 17. Underneath again for Sycamore is Bailey Weigman. First one won't go, but he's there for the rebound and converts on the front end of the and one. on the baseline. Jamari Meeks blows past his defender and lays it in easily. That one a part of his 11 on the night. The Spartans fought hard, but lose a close one at home, 46-41.
We want to take a moment to recognize a few players who hit milestones this week. Dakota's senior Tabitha Tolke became Dakota's all-time leading scorer Monday. She scored her 1,318th point to pass J.C. Cleaver. Rochelle senior Garrett Burden joined the 1,000-point club. He did that on Thursday night. 1,000
points is something to be proud of, but how about this? Indian Creek's Brooke Hyman scored her 2,000th point this week. You see her here marking the moment with her teammates. And we want to recognize DeKalb's senior Trenton Kyler. He was named the MVP of DeKalb's Chuck Dayton Holiday Tournament last weekend. He led the Barbs to the championship.
We'll be right back. We wrap up the show with our play of the week.
This one coming to us tonight from DeKalb. In the final seconds of the second quarter, Trenton Kyler lays it in. Wabanzi has to go quick. Audrey Maluji fires one from a mile away and somehow gets it to go off the backboard. Take a look again in slow motion. That's 3/4 court, and it tied it up at 37 going into half, but the Barbs were able to hang on for the win. What an incredible shot.
Not bad. Well, be sure to join us each Friday night at this time for Overtime. We also rebroadcast the show Sunday mornings at 9 on Fox 39.
And remember, for highlights and scores anytime, go to our website, mystateline.com. That does it for this episode.
Enjoy your weekend.
Overtime, sponsored by Wendy's. They got you for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between.